relations, and play-by-play broadcasting. Also, check out www.abramsboxing.com, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, as well as M. Abrams Boxing on Twitter and Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Hello, everyone. It's Marc Abrams, another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. I'll be joined later in the show in a few minutes by the WBA light flyweight and minimum weight champion of the world, Seniesa Estrada, doctor, right after female-dominated card, Madison Square Garden over the weekend. And speaking of that, WBC, IBF, and WBO title holder, featherweight champion Amanda Serrano with the 44-2-1. And she added the WBA championship in a terrific action-packed war with Erica Cruz to get the WBA championship and become undisputed this past Saturday night at the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden. These girls counted over 1,900 punches in 20 minutes of action. I prorated that, and it's just unbelievable. They would have thrown, if they prorated to like a men's 36-minute fight, it would have been, well over 3,000 punches. One of the best fights that you'll see. These two girls stood toe-to-toe. Amanda Serrano, after the first couple rounds, she kind of got her wits about herself in the sense that Cruz was just ducking down and throwing punches and from all angles. And then after this, maybe the second or third round, Amanda Serrano was really in control of the fight. Both girls were bleeding. Cruz was a bloody mess, but Amanda Serrano won by scores of 97-93 and 98-92 twice. So she looks like she's going to be fighting Katie Taylor in the much anticipated rematch on May the 20th in Dublin, Ireland. Katie was there. They did the whole thing in the ring to set everything up for the big fight that's going to happen, the big rematch. It's going to take place about 13 months after the classic first bout at Madison Square Garden. So Amanda Serrano is now the undisputed first Puerto Rican to be considered an undisputed world champion. WBC, IBF, WBO champion in the 130-pound division, Alicia Baumgartner added the vacant WBA belt to become undisputed herself in the co-feature on Saturday night, the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden. She pounded out a 10-round unanimous decision over Elham Mekhaled. Dropped Mekhaled twice in the fight, had Mekhaled hurt several other times. Several times it looked like the fight could have been stopped at any time, but Alicia Baumgartner wins by scores of 99-89, 99-89, and 90. Undefeated IBF at number 13 ranked junior welterweight Richardson Hitchens went to 16-0 with 7 knockouts. Scored a 10-round unanimous decision where John Bowser falls to 17-1 in a bout for the IBF North American and US WBC titles in the junior welterweight division. And rounding out the main part of the card, the main portion, prospect Yanio Rivera went to 3-0 as he scored an 8-round unanimous decision where Fernando Diaz scores were 79-73, 79-73, and 78-74. So after that fight, after the fight card, I had a chance to talk to another terrific female fighter, the WBA minimum weight champion, Seniesa Estrada, and this is how it went. Fights here with the world champion, world light flyweight champion, Seniesa Estrada. Unbelievable night of fights, two undisputed champions. What were your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, it was such a great fight. Do you want me to hold that? Okay. It was two great fights, and it's just incredible to be here in New York and, have two men opening up the DAZN broadcast and having two women headline is just amazing. And the fights were great. Baumgartner put on a great performance, and so did Amanda. I knew Erica Cruz was not a fighter to definitely overlook. She has such a high punch output, and she throws this sneaky left hook that comes over the top, and that's the first punch that she landed on Amanda in the first round about 3 times in a row. So she has this very a sneaky style, and she just continues to, as we all saw tonight, she just continues to continue to fight at the same pace from the first round to the last round. She has so much heart. So it's great that Amanda was able to go in there against an opponent like Erica, who made it a competitive fight and probably one of the best women's fights that I've seen.
When we see fights like that, a bloody battle, both girls are bloody, do you ever see yourself in a fight like that? I don't know if you look forward to it, but do you see yourself in a fight like that?
I have been cut in a fight before, on the forehead as well, top of my head, and I continue the fight as if it wasn't there. You just have to have a strong mentality and block it out and keep fighting. And Erica did that tonight, and I became such a big fan of Erica. I was already a fan before, but now I'm just like, wow, she deserves more big fights at that weight class.
When you see nights tonight, you see what Alicia did. I know you're friends with Michaela. You're sitting there all night, but you see what she did to become undisputed. You see what Amanda did. They just had Katie Taylor in the ring. They announced the big rematch. How much does that motivate you? You just sitting here. I know you're getting back in the ring March 25th, but how much does it? You want to get back? You probably want to go to the gym right now, don't you?
I do. Yes, I do. It's so motivating because to see all these women in such big fights just motivates me to just become undisputed. My next fight will be my first unification fight, and then hopefully right after that go into an undisputed fight. And once I do that, I want to move up a weight class and do the same thing there. So it's very motivating to see where women's boxing is today.
I was about to ask, you see what everyone's doing, how far that, women's boxing is actually coming just in the last couple of years, with the big card they just had in London, a show like tonight, just how much the sport, the female boxing has come in the last couple of years.
Oh, it's grown so much in the last couple of years, and just in the last couple of years, and I've been boxing since I was 8 years old, so, and I turned pro at a time when women's boxing was completely dead in the professionals. Big promoters weren't signing women, we weren't fighting on TV, we weren't making much money. So to start my professional career that way and to see the progress and the change that it's made in the last couple of years is great. I've always known women's boxing would make this change, I just didn't know when. So I just had to have a lot of patience and just faith in my abilities and myself.
Well, I guess one of the last questions. For the longest time, even in men's boxing, the lighter weight classes really didn't get a lot of love and respect here, especially here in the United States. I know it was bigger in other parts of the world. You single-handedly, or have the lighter weight classes, pretty much on your back, and, you become, must-watch TV. How does that make you feel to know that you've done that, for the 105s, the 108s, 112s?
Yeah, it feels great, and I'm just getting started. Like, the 105, 108 and 112, there's so many talented, skilled fighters in that weight division who put on exciting fights, but no one's seen it because there hasn't been anybody like me to be able to bring those fights to television and bring it here in the U.S. So now that I'm with Top Rank Promotions and fighting on a great platform, now I'm able to have all the fighters and champions from other places, other countries want to come here and fight me because they know that this is such a great opportunity to be able to fight on this platform and to fight a champion like myself.
Well, it's freezing outside, but the action in the ring was red hot. Seniesa, we look forward to seeing you March 25th, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There you have it, Seniesa Estrada. Terrific interview. Very, very nice young lady, and and a great fighter. So she's got a lot of things going on. I thank her for taking a couple minutes. Right, her and Michaela Mayer were sitting in front of us the whole time, and I was joking with them because the DAZN cameras, kept showing Michaela during Alicia's fight, and like I said, they were sitting right in front of us, and I kept joking with them, why are they in the way of the shots? Because DAZN, I think, was trying to get me on camera. I know, bad attempt at humor, but so we'll see Alicia Baumgartner probably in a big fight again next, and Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor too, coming to Dublin, Ireland on May 20th. I think they're still holding up hope for that Croke Park, to have the 90,000 people there. We'll see what happens. The night before in Glendale, Arizona, the home of this week's Super Bowl. Go Eagles. Have to get that in there. Emmanuel Navarrete got a very big scare from a big underdog Liam Wilson, but came back to score a stoppage victory in round 7. Navarrete was dropped in round 4, had to spit out his mouthpiece. The referee put the mouthpiece in wrong. He actually got 27 seconds to recover. He got rocked again, I believe, in the 6th round. Came back to stop, round 9. Liam Wilson, I was going to say he got rocked again in round 7. And in round 9, he stopped Liam Wilson at 157 to win the vacant WBO 130-pound championship. He's now a 3-division world champion. Guys like Barrera, Morales, those kind of guys in terms of Mexicans being multi-division, 3-division world champions, add the name of Emmanuel Navarrete. The co-features saw world rank Arnold Barbosa Jr. go to 28-0 as he scored a 10-round unanimous decision over former 2-division world champion Jose Pedraza. Scores are 97-93 and 96-94 twice. Pedraza falls to 29-5-1. Also, kicking off the main portion of the card last Friday night live on ESPN, saw Richard Torres Jr. go to 5-0, 5 knockouts. He capped the former silver medal winner, stopped James Bryant in the first round of their fight and it looks like Bryant didn't come out for round 2. So Richard Torres Jr., who's gained a little bit of a cult following, maybe because of that mustache that he has. Unbeaten WBO, unbeaten world ranked super middleweight Eric Bazinian went to 29-0 as he scored a real tough 10-round unanimous, majority decision over Alantez Fox last Thursday night in Montreal. Scores were 98-92 twice and 95-95 for Bazinian. Again, he's 29-0. Fox had tough luck, falls to 28-4-1. Just this past Tuesday night, I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I got the call. Fast Eddie Chambers coming back, the former world title challenger, heavyweight world title challenger, went to 43-5, notched his 24th knockout. He won his first fight since getting out of boxing in 2016. Scored a 3rd round knockout over Corey Williams at the Texas Troubadour on Nashville, Tennessee. The fight was shown live on Fight.tv. It's the first of a series called Country Box that they're going to try to do the first Tuesday of every month down in Nashville. And hopefully I get back down there, I think in March, maybe March 7th, to call the action again. This week, Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas, Ray Vargas takes on a Shockey Foster for the vacant WBC 130-pound world championship. Should be a good fight. No Shockey Foster. He's worked himself up from a couple tough losses early in his career to put himself in this position against Vargas, who's a really good fighter. And I like Vargas maybe by a split decision, majority decision kind of fight. I think Foster's going to accredit himself pretty well in the fight, but Ray Vargas, a lot of championship experience may be the difference. Co-feature will pit San Antonio's own Mario Barrios take on Javante Santiago in a 140-pound bout. And the heavyweights, a couple of undefeated heavyweights, are going to kick off the show. Lanier Perot takes on Victor Faust. Should be an interesting. The winner of that fight will take a big giant step forward into contendership in the heavyweight division. This Saturday night, live here on WatchBoxing.tv, Boxing TV here. The Pain Boxing Series, Rumble in Paradise 4, will be presented by Chiro Boxing Promotions live from the Dominican Republic Saturday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Will be live on WatchBoxing.tv. Also, Saturday Night Live on BXNG TV, live from Atlantic City, R&B Promotions. We'll have a main event between undefeated Emmanuel Sarcelito Rodriguez taking on Sharon Carter. So that'll be live on BXNG TV. So we got fights on BXNG TV and WatchBoxing.tv and Showtime this Saturday night. Get to some news items of the week. WBO number 1 ranked Tim Tszyu will clash with Tony Harrison, the number 4 ranked, for the vacant WBO interim title. That will take place on Sunday, March 12th. It'll be Saturday night in the United States. Live from Sydney, Australia, We broadcasted live on KO Sports and Foxtel main event pay-per-view in Australia. No U.S. pay-per-view or U.S. television distribution rights have been announced as yet. Stay tuned to the Abrams Boxing Show. We'll give you all the latest information on that. A light heavyweight bout, Crossroads light heavyweight bout. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, 44-130 knockouts, coming off his loss to Dimitri Bivol, will take on Gabriel Rosado, 26-16-1, 15 knockouts. That will take place March 18th. I guess they don't have a venue yet. I don't see a venue yet. Just says March 18th live on the Zone. Rosado began his career at 154 pounds, got a world title shot at 60, a couple world title shots at 60, then up to 68, and now going to try his luck at 175 pounds is the exciting fighter from Philadelphia. Next week on, let's see here, February 17th, a Showbox triple header. Ardrill Holmes at 12-05 knockouts will take on Ismael Villarreal, 12-0 8 knockouts. That'll be the 10-round main event. Take place in Topeka, Kansas. The co-main event will pit Misael Lopez, 14-1 5 knockouts, against Edward Vasquez, 13-1 3 knockouts. We'll try to get Vasquez and Holmes on possibly the show next week. And kicking off the telecast will be former Division I college football star Kurt Scooby, 10-0 8 knockouts, taking on John Mano, 7-0 4 knockouts, both undefeated fighters in their super lightweight bout. We mentioned Richard Torres with his big win over James Bryant this past Friday in Glendale, Arizona. Torres will be back in action. A little bit of a step-up fight. He'll take on Willie Jake Jr., 11-3 and 2 3 knockouts on March 25th in Fresno, California. That'll be part of the Jose Ramirez Richard Comey fight card. And the co-main event that night will be our guest for this week, Seniesa Estrada, going in a unification bout in the 108-pound division, taking on Tina Ruprek. So that will be a nice little card on March the 25th on ESPN. That will go head-to-head with the David Benavidez Caleb Plant pay-per-view. Looks like, according to Oscar De La Hoya, there's only one issue to be, as of this airtime, to be ironed out for the possible April 15th fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia via Showtime pay-per-view. It's all about a rematch clause and a rematch in networks. If Oscar De La Hoya says that if Ryan wins the fight, that the rematch needs to be on the Zone, Showtime and PBC aren't budget from that. So let's hope they can work that out and figure a way to get this done for April the 15th, because the world definitely awaits that fight. The Zone announced their schedule, at least some of their schedule, and this is how it's going to go, up until May. And I think that they'll add some fights, I would imagine, to this. Saturday, February 18th, Lee Wood takes on Mauricio Lara for the WBA featherweight title in Nottingham, England. March 11th, Callum Smith takes on Pavel Stepien in a light heavyweight bout. Smith is a mandatory for Arthur Beterbiev's light heavyweight title, so he's probably going to get one more in before he gets the title shot. Saturday, March 18th, Matchroom's going to run their Next Gen series. I guess it's Matchroom's a version of Showbox. Cyrus Patterson takes on Chris Jenkins in a welterweight bout. Pat McCormack takes on Dario Sochi in a welterweight bout. And Solomon Dakers will take on Robert Ismay in a heavyweight bout. That will take place on March 18th in Newcastle, England. On Saturday, April 8th, the WBO flyweight title, Jesse Bam Rodriguez will take on Christian Gonzalez at the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio, Texas. April 22nd, we'll pit Shavizkan Rakhimov taking on Joe Cordina in Cardiff, Wales for the IBF super featherweight title. That's a really good fight. And then Saturday, May 20th, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 2, live from Dublin, Ireland. So the Zone coming out with a nice schedule between now and May. So I look forward to seeing all those fights happen. Former two-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua will take on Jermaine Franklin on Saturday, April 1st, live on DAZN. Obviously, that's also on top of the fights that we just mentioned that will take place at the O2 Arena in London. Heavyweight Joe Joyce will defend his WBO interim heavyweight championship when he takes on the Big Bang from China, Jayli Zhang. 24 1-1, 19 knockouts. Joyce 15-0, 14 knockout. That's gonna be a slugfest. Those two guys. Two things about those guys: they get hit a lot and they hit a lot. I think Joe Joyce is gonna obliterate Zhang, but it's gonna be a pretty violent fight while it happens. Well, middleweight Chris Eubank Jr. has a couple more weeks to exercise his rematch clause with Liam Smith, and from all indications that Eubank is going to exercise the rematch clause for that fight. Liam Smith is looking for bigger and better things, but he might have to deal with Chris Eubank Jr. one more time. WBO number 14th ranked heavyweight Justice Hooney, 7-0, 4 knockouts, has signed a multi-year deal with Matchroom Boxing. Actually, I had a chance before the fight. I asked Eddie Hearn about him. He's very excited about Justice Hooney and the waves that Matchroom Boxing have been making in Australia. Undefeated two-weight division Shakur Stevenson, 1909 knockouts, will take on number 5 Suchiro Yoshimo, 16-12 knockouts in a WBC lightweight elimination bout at the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, on April the 8th. Of course, at Stevenson's hometown. The co-feature will pit Jared Big Baby Anderson in against TBA. And also in that card, a good little step-up fight. Keyshawn Davis, 7-0, 5 knockouts, takes on Emmanuel Tago, 32-2, 15 knockouts. That'll all be part of the main broadcast on April 8th. Shakur Stevenson against Shuichiro Yoshimo. And finally, it looks like WBC Bridgerweight champion Aline Babic will have to go to Poland and take on Lukas Roszensky for the WBC Bridgerweight title after Roszensky's promoters, Andrew Wazlewski and Knockout Promotions in Poland, won the rights to the bid at a $425,000. Matchroom bid $350,000. The fight will be a 45-45 split with 10% going into escrow for the winner. So that's our show. Like I said, a lot of news this week. Look forward to talking about next week the Ray Vargas or Shockey Foster, and previewing Showbox. We'll get a couple of the fighters from Showbox on the show next week. Maybe we'll get Ardrell Holmes and Edwin Vasquez. I'd like to thank everyone for watching this week, and we'll talk to you next week on the Abrams Boxing Show.